But let's get in some more wisdom. Samir Arora, founder at Helios Capital, joins in on the show right now. Samir, hi, good morning and belated birthday wishes. How many years of wisdom?
I tell everything in my life to the public.
But that's the unique thing about you, isn't it?
Correct.
So yes, markets also celebrated with you, Samir, after a long wait of 14 months, finally did it, at least in the Nifty and Sensex. But that feeling of cheer is not really there, Samir. I mean, individual portfolios, they're still crying foul. When do you think you see a more broad-based move and a more buoyant move in the markets, if one can call it that?
Actually, according to me, the market has already turned and it is already doing well when compared to other markets and in absolute. So just to give you recent numbers, don't take year to date and all, because you have to see the delta or the second derivative. So right now, if you see this quarter, the Indian market, I just saw before doing this, Indian market that is MSCI India is up some 5.5%. That means in 2 months, because today is the last day of the second month of the quarter. And this China in this time is -6. Emerging market index is up 1.8%. And US is up 1.8 and NASDAQ is up 2.5. So by the way, in the last 2 months, that means India has outperformed every market and in absolute done a reasonable 5.5%. And this, by the way, is MSCI in dollar. And since our rupee has not done well, so actually the rupee guys may have done 1% more. Plus, even the September month was very positive. I think the market was up some 2%. So the market has already turned, but the only thing is that because the small cap index has not gone up, so in terms of number of stocks, it looks, and that's why you say portfolios, because individuals may have more of those. But there also it will turn if the other two are doing well. And broadly, the reasons for that are also very simple. It's not some complicated esoteric stuff that why we are doing well. One is that we had underperformed a lot compared to other markets, nearly 30% a year to date. Secondly, broadly, we used to do well, as in for 5 years and 10 years, and including this bad year, we had done well for 5 years as a market. So it's not that somebody discovered something so great or something so bad about India on December 31 of 2024 to say now we are going to target this specifically, but it happened and that catch-up will happen. Secondly, the government of India did, because of tariffs or otherwise, Trump tariffs or the extra tariff, a few things on reforms, GST cut, this cut, rate cut, whatever, interest rate cut, income tax cut. All these things feed through with time. And third is that actually someday the tariffs, because now we are the only ones left, will also be a little bit negotiated down to maybe 25 or even 15, as people say. So it has already turned, according to me.
Samir, looking at the index, it doesn't give you that confidence that there is a broad-based rally backing it. And you spoke about small cap and a mid cap thing. Do you think that you're going to see some kind of rally coming into this broader sector?
Actually, again, the rally has already happened. Just as a simple example, our midcap fund started on, I think, March 29th or March 1st or something, and it is up 30%. The thing is, the previous years, 1 or 2 months were bad, or the beginning of this year were bad. So from that day, you're not appreciating, and we have not outperformed the market by 30%. So the mid-cap index from whatever that date is, I forget, it was some month end, I think March end. So from March end, it is up 30%. And the index, that is the mid-cap index, is up like 20% or something. So from where did that come? They are doing well. But because, that's what I'm saying, the turn is different from catching all of the old, this thing back and saying that the market is not doing well because you're comparing, obviously, which is right also, that you're comparing with year end for people and 1 year and all that. But it has turned. The turn means that round day to day or month to month, people are not losing more unless you keep comparing with that high that you saw in, say, September of 24, and that will take time. But it's like this, if a market is like this and it has gone like this but not reached this high level, it still is a turn, and generally these things do catch up if the world is okay, and particularly if the Indian market is otherwise not having too many FII selling and general improvement in consumer sentiment and actual consumer finances because of interest rate cut or GST cut or whatever, then these things will happen. But it's not that the market is falling like this, that it's vertically falling and therefore we don't know when it will turn or when it will bounce. It is already in a bit like this curve, like this.
Okay. Yeah, that it is. But Samir, do you think the government thrust on consumption would be enough to factor into earnings, and will it reflect soon in Q3?
No, I don't think it will reflect in any company's earnings because the money is diffuse in the sense that you may save on buying soaps and with that you may do an SIP with our fund. So it's not that the same earning, but the cash with the individual or the citizens will have benefits in terms of their own ability to choose what they want to do. Maybe some will pay down their debt, maybe some will invest. So it's not literally, we don't care right now for that particular company whether a company will do. But if people have more money and they are otherwise saving, they will use it in whichever way they like, and therefore the overall economy is helped. Sometimes the individual stock is not easy to pinpoint, but that does not matter in aggregate.
You see, run up or some kind of rally coming into the small cap. And by the way, you also launched your small cap fund as well.
So we did a small cap fund which closed only last Thursday, I think, and it has raised 470 crores. So I'm not bad for a NFO. And tonight will be the first NAV. So basically that shows to you that there is interest in the market. Basically our logic is, different a little bit from these guys who say that large caps will outperform. I say that large caps will be good because of FII outflows falling, reducing. And these FIIs obviously have more of large cap names, and particularly they have names in these old financial sector, IT sector, and the large consumer companies. And if they stop selling or their pressure is less, then the large caps will do okay. But as soon as the large caps do okay, there will be a broadening of the rally to mid and small. It is not that the Indian public will be overly excited with the IT and consumer sector promising to grow 6% instead of 5%, that kind of thing. So it'll be okay, the large caps. Financials, of course, is everybody's favorite sector, but otherwise it'll automatically spread. And the proof of that is that if you see it from the bottom, which was say Feb end, the mid caps have massively outperformed the large cap, but if you do year to date, they've underperformed.
Interesting perspective. Samir, hi, morning. What is your take on the entire capital market theme and that space? Because the money saved from all of these central bank and GST activities, if that makes its way into the market, do you think capital markets could be a good sector to look at, some of the plays over there?
So in capital markets, we have to divide it. We overly don't like, although we own one broker and all, but broadly, I don't like the exchanges and the depositories and the brokers because I feel that the volume or the speculative activity is too high. And whatever the regulator may say and whatever the government will say, in their heart of heart, they want this to come down. In basically a 1 week period, they basically made gambling companies zero. And this is some form of gambling, and I think everybody understands that it is gambling beyond a point. And we have seen that also in Korea. It happened, I think, in 2011-12. Then when there is very high speculation and people lose money, then even if there is no government intervention, then over the next 2-3 years, that the crop of guys who come into the market 2 years ago and lose for 2 years, whatever is big for them, they sort of drop off. And in India, that is already happening. You can see that in the number of traders and the number of accounts and everything. And all these companies' numbers, if you see for 1 year basis, they're all down. So I think other than that part, it's good, which basically means our business, asset management business and anything associated with that, because it is a business which the system supports, logic supports, and it's not somebody trying to stop it every day, unlike the speculative volume-led businesses.
You're right. It's speculative and gambling, but the house always wins. BSE was up 60% this year. MCX almost doubled this year. So, did you miss on
That's
that
what I'm
rally?
saying. Now that they have doubled, and on the margin, the every day the rules will be to bring this down. That's what we mean. But we don't know. We have enough to not bother about any one stock. Even if we had it, we would have had 2% and would have gone up 1% for us. The point is, we don't play on any one thing like that. It's the process thing. The point is, big picture, the volume is too high. And if something is too high, then it does not remain high. The another way of looking at it is that if any business, and you tell me any business, if after COVID it has taken off and gone up 10 times and 15 times, like these brokers, these online brokers, the Zerodha, you're making, I don't know, 10 crores or 100 crores, suddenly you make 5,000 crores. You can't expect that from 5,000 you have to now go up 20% per annum straight away. You will first correct. You will first make that annualized number a little bit more reasonable, and then from that lower base, then you can grow steadily for the rest of your life. But nothing happens like this, that it first goes up like this, and from this point it moves like this. It has never happened. You can see that in Netflix subscription that happened, or Spotify subscriptions, or you can do that in home improvement, or you can do that in anything. It has to moderate, first correct, and then move on. But we think that if something has gone from 100 to 5,000, then from 5,000 will it grow 15% per annum? It will. But once that 5,000 has to become 4,000, 3,000, something like that. That is my logic.
So, Samir, any new additions in the last few months?
New additions of bulls, specs, shirts, what?
Picks, stocks.
Stocks, so you will see today's month end. In a few days, you will see you'll see whatever they bought in small cap. I don't know exactly. I know broadly. So all that you will see.
Sectors you are bullish within the small cap space?
Sorry?
Which are the sectors you are bullish on in the small
So
cap?
actually, when we were doing the big picture, this thing on small cap, that how a portfolio should be constructed, we realized that in small cap, you can't overly start with the sector, because some of the sectors we like, they don't really exist in the same way in small cap universe. For example, we like financials, but broadly the good financials are all large caps. Also, we like consumer, but many of them are larger or cap or even mid cap. So therefore, it's a overall thing. In the end, of course, when you aggregate, you'll find that, okay, whatever is the weightage in financial or the weightage in consumer or capital goods. But I think that we are not in the small cap universe starting with first saying sector and then choosing a stock.
Okay.
So in the end, you will find financials and consumer and auto ancillaries and all these things which are more this thing. But I don't think in any of them our research started that, or we as fund managers said that find me 5 auto ancillaries to buy or something like that.
Right. But consumer tech, Samir, that's what you've always liked? Any of the new IPOs that you were a subscriber to?
So we were anchors in PhysicsWallah. That's not consumer, but it's whatever you want to call it. And none of the others.
No Lenskart?
No.
No LG?
LG actually we should have got, but we missed it because of not following up with the banker on time. So that one is our goof up. But otherwise, my idea is that something should be unique, and particularly if it's asking for new age type valuations, which means that you are valuing for 27 and 28, then you better show growth at bottom line of 50, 60, 100%. Don't show us growth of 15% for asking for new age multiples. If you are growing 15, 20%, then ask for regular multiples. Simple logic.
And Samir, your take and your holding in Paytm, it's something you've always liked, and the street is also bullish on the back of the recent approval that they've got.
Yes, but this approval actually was already known a little bit because they had got in principle approval. But that is a stock which has been nearly 200% now. It's tripled nearly. And now it's a regular compounder, not this kind. But the thing is, please note, when people criticize these IPOs, mostly you could have criticized for some of them their prices initially or their IPO price, not their businesses. And that's what we think for many of them. All these businesses which reach a stage where they're doing IPO, they are not bad. People make fun of every business as if things is happening. It's that price is the main thing. Now we bought 4 stocks after they've fallen 30, 40, 50% from their IPO, and we hope to find more. But once in a while, you want to go in with at the IPO stage itself. But otherwise, you don't reach an IPO stage just randomly, because there are so many companies that get funded by private equity, and before that venture and all that, and then they take over, merge, clean up, and then some last 2-3 go public. Now at that time you have to only have the discipline of price, because the businesses will all, I think, look okay if somebody had even fair who gives fair chance to an idea and not rejected outright. I don't buy IPOs because Warren Buffett by mistake said it once or something like that. So then I think all these, even Lenskart, all these businesses are good. It's just that sometimes you feel growth versus price, or something in the near future versus price is not good.
Are you looking at some of the forthcoming IPOs? Misho is coming next week. You have Equus coming in. Maybe Milky is also coming in.
So the thing is, we try for some, not all you get, because we are not that big. And the guys who are big also, for their own size, don't get enough. So it doesn't, by the way, no IPO changes anybody's life. Because the small guy gets a small allocation, the big guy gets an allocation, which for him is very small. Ultimately, you're all getting 10 basis point of your AUM in the anchor, and if it goes up 30%, you make 0.03 more. So it is more just for the A, for analysis, and B, that okay, when it lists, is it worth buying? Will you buy it 30% higher? So all that we have to do, that on day one, will we buy or not buy? If either a new IPO or the one which we have, because the anchor itself will be in significant position for everybody, including the biggest guys, because of their own AUM being much, much bigger than that. So we are trying for 1 or 2 of these, you will see, but we don't know.
Samir, what about Zomato? Conviction still there, even with their very aggressive expansion?
Conviction on?
Zomato, eternal?
Zomato is going to blow out everybody. I mean, and I think the most positive news is the complete dumbness of the unlisted guys, because they don't understand that they cannot go public if the listed guys are not doing well. It is just the law of nature, and the sooner somebody realizes it, because you can't go public and say, see, I am X number guy, I am the 10th guy, but the first 9 have got screwed and I am the 10th guy, so give me, buy me. They will have to show a path to profitability. They'll have to show a reduction in losses, and as soon as they show a path to profitability, the first 2 guys will jump up, because that means now the pressure is over. In this business, the unlisted cannot fight with the listed because of this reason. Unless the listed guy is so bad that you say, no, ignore him. Like, you can't say, oh, Baiju, if it's not listed actually, but oh, because Baiju made everybody zero, therefore you can't go public. That kind of an extreme thing doesn't happen. But if the listed guy is actually otherwise okay, and the second guy is sort of okay, then you third guy can't come up and say, but I am better because I, for 3 months, spent money. And so I think they are just doing a wrong thing, being advised by wrong people, and just being ridiculous. The biggest rally, bull run, will start on the day these guys file, because they will have to immediately in conference calls with the public means investors, have to say, we were making X loss, now we are making X minus 40%, we are making, so they'll say how, they say we reduced our discounting, the rally will again start. And I think it's a good strategy for the leader, if they could control it, to have a price that is down, so that the funding for the second and third guys become more difficult. Although, of course, they can't be controlling the stock price themselves. But it is a brilliant. If they were private, they should have just increased it and made sure that these guys don't get funded, the other guys, because they are so far ahead. No, very bullish.
Yeah, absolutely. Eternal at 302. And Samir Arora believes that the big move is yet to happen. But Samir,
Big move.
thank you as always for your wisdom. Good speaking
Thank
with
you.
you.
Please note, we own this stock, we own this
Yes,
stock. Nobody
we
can say,
know.
oh, we are talking about book. We are saying this because we own the stock. If we didn't own the stock, we won't say it. But the fact that we own it means we like it.